Let me tell you something powerful. Life isn't about avoiding pain, it's about becoming stronger than it. The moment you stop letting things outside of you control what's inside you, that's the moment you become untouchable. You can't stop people from judging you, leaving you, or disappointing you. But you can build a mindset that nothing and no one can break. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. Every single person has been hurt, betrayed, rejected, or disappointed. And yet, some people crumble under the weight of it, while others rise from the ashes stronger than ever. The difference, it's not luck, it's mindset. The people who refuse to be broken are the ones who decide, deep inside, that their peace is not up for negotiation. When you master this mindset, you stop reacting to everything. You stop giving power to things that don't deserve your energy. You stop trying to control what you can't. And you start controlling what you can, your thoughts, your emotions, your response. Because the truth is, nothing hurts. It's your attachment to what you expected that does. People will walk away. Life will hit you hard. You will lose things, you will lose people, and sometimes you'll even lose yourself. But when you've trained your mind to see everything as a lesson, not a loss, you become unstoppable. Pain becomes your teacher, not your enemy. And listen carefully, you are not fragile. You are not broken. You've just forgotten how strong you truly are. The world has conditioned you to think you need validation to feel worthy, acceptance to feel safe, or control to feel at peace. But the moment you stop seeking those things outside of yourself, that's when you reclaim your power. When you truly believe that nothing outside of you can destroy what's within you, life changes. You start moving differently. You stop chasing things that drain you. You stop explaining yourself to people who don't deserve an explanation. You stop letting every setback feel like the end. You realize everything that happens to you can either destroy you or develop you. The choice is always yours. You can't stop pain from knocking at your door, but you can choose not to let it move in. You can't change how others treat you, but you can decide how you treat yourself. That's where real power begins, not in avoiding hurt, but in mastering how you respond to it. So today, make a decision. No more giving people the power to ruin your day. No more letting your past define your peace. No more believing that every disappointment is proof that you're not enough. You're done with that. You're stepping into a mindset where nothing can hurt you anymore. Because you've learned that everything that once broke you is actually building you. The reason so many people feel powerless isn't because of what's happening around them. It's because of what they keep giving power to. Every time you let someone's words ruin your day, you hand them the keys to your peace. Every time you overthink a situation that's already over, you give energy to something that doesn't deserve it. And every time you let another person's behavior define your worth, you give away a piece of yourself that was never meant to be up for debate. The truth is, the world will always have people who misunderstand you, doubt you, criticize you, or try to bring you down. But none of that has the ability to truly affect you until you let it. When you stop giving people permission to control your emotions, that's when you start taking your power back. The mind loves to react. It wants to defend itself, prove itself, explain itself. But all that does is trap you in cycles of frustration and weakness. You think you're standing up for yourself, but really, you're giving energy to things that don't matter. Power doesn't come from reacting, it comes from restraint. It comes from knowing when to speak and when to stay silent, when to walk away and when to stand your ground. There's strength in not responding to every attack, not chasing every insult, not explaining your side to people committed to misunderstanding you. That's not weakness. That's wisdom. When you stop giving away your power, you stop needing constant validation. You no longer depend on people to tell you who you are. You become rooted in your own sense of self-worth. You know what you bring to the table, and you no longer feel the need to prove it. That's freedom. The kind that doesn't come from control but from self-awareness. The kind that doesn't need recognition to feel valuable. You realize that peace is not something others can give you. It's something you create and protect within yourself. Taking your power back is not about shutting people out. It's about shifting your focus inward. It's about deciding that your emotions are your responsibility. It's understanding that you can't control what others say or do, but you can always control how you respond. When you learn to pause before reacting, you begin to see things clearly. You start to realize that not every battle is worth fighting, not every opinion matters, and not every situation requires your energy. You begin to live intentionally instead of emotionally. Every time you choose not to engage with negativity, not to chase closure, not to prove your point, you're teaching your mind strength. You're training yourself to rise above instead of getting dragged down. Because real power doesn't scream, it stays calm. Real confidence doesn't chase, it attracts. And the people who seem unbothered aren't cold, they're in control. They've mastered the art of protecting their energy and guarding their peace, and that's the mindset that makes you unshakable. When you stop giving away your power, nothing outside of you can ever truly hurt you again. Pain has this way of showing up when you least expect it, in the form of loss, rejection, failure, or betrayal. It doesn't ask for permission, it just arrives uninvited and uncomfortable. But what if you stopped seeing pain as something that's happening to you, and started seeing it as something happening for you? Because the truth is, pain is the most honest teacher you'll ever have. It doesn't lie, it doesn't flatter, and it doesn't let you hide. It exposes what's weak, what's fragile, and what's ready to grow stronger. Every struggle you face carries within it a lesson meant to sharpen your mind, toughen your spirit, and deepen your understanding of who you are. Most people spend their lives trying to avoid pain, as if comfort is the goal. But comfort never taught you anything. It never made you evolve. Every ounce of wisdom you have right now came from something that once hurt you. That heartbreak taught you self-respect. That failure taught you discipline. That disappointment taught you patience. Pain is not your enemy. It's the resistance that builds your strength. When you see it that way, you stop running from it and start learning from it. Because what you run from controls you. What you face transforms you. There's a powerful shift that happens when you stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What is this teaching me?" That single mindset shift changes everything. It takes you out of victim mode and puts you back in control. You stop being defined by what broke you, and instead, you become defined by how you rose. You learn to extract meaning from the mess to find purpose in the pain. Because every hardship carries a hidden message. You just have to be willing to listen. Pain isn't there to punish you, it's there to prepare you. It's molding you into someone stronger, someone wiser, someone more grounded. Think back to every difficult season in your life. You didn't just survive it, you grew from it. You came out more resilient, more self-aware, more confident. That's what pain does when you stop fighting it. It refines you. It breaks down your illusions, burns away your ego, and forces you to meet the real you underneath it all. And that version of you, the one who has faced storms and kept going, that's your power. When you learn to welcome pain as part of your evolution, you become unstoppable. You stop wasting energy trying to avoid every difficult emotion, every challenge, every uncomfortable moment. Instead, you face it with calm confidence, knowing that you'll rise stronger on the other side. You start to see that pain doesn't mean you're weak or unlucky. It means you're alive, you're learning, and you're growing. Because pain is temporary, but the strength it gives you lasts forever. Every scar you carry is proof that you've been tested and didn't quit. And once you realize that pain can't destroy you, only shape you, you begin to walk through life with a kind of unshakable peace that no one can take away. Most of the pain and frustration you feel doesn't actually come from what's happening in your life. It comes from trying to control what was never meant to be in your control. You want people to act a certain way, situations to go exactly as planned, and life to unfold on your timeline. But the more you grip tightly to those expectations, the more you suffer. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop trying to manipulate outcomes that aren't yours to manage. It means you trust that doing your best is enough, and whatever happens next is part of something greater than your control. When you try to control everything, you live in constant anxiety. You're always waiting for things to go wrong, trying to fix what's not yours to fix, and carrying weight that doesn't belong to you. You spend so much energy trying to force certainty in an uncertain world that you lose your peace in the process. Detaching from control is not giving up, it's letting go. It's saying, "I've done what I can, and I refuse to let what I can't control destroy my peace." That's real freedom. When you can stay calm even when things don't go your way, because you've learned to trust yourself more than the outcome. Letting go doesn't make you weak, it makes you wise. It means you've grown enough to know that clinging to what's leaving won't make it stay, and forcing what's not working won't make it right. You learn to accept that sometimes people will disappoint you, plans will fall apart, and life will surprise you. And none of that means you failed. It means you're human. It means you're evolving. The most peaceful people you'll ever meet aren't the ones who have perfect lives. They're the ones who've mastered the art of letting go. When you detach from what you can't control, you start to notice how much lighter life feels. You stop wasting time overanalyzing, overthinking, and overreacting. You become intentional with your energy. You begin to focus on what's in your hands, your attitude, your effort, your mindset. That's where your real power is. You realize that you can't control the waves, but you can learn how to surf. You can't predict every storm, but you can build inner strength to stay steady through it. That's how you create unshakable peace, not by changing the world, but by changing how you respond to it. This kind of detachment takes courage because it means surrendering your need for control and embracing trust. Trusting that everything happening is preparing you for what's next. Trusting that setbacks are setups. Trusting that losing one thing doesn't mean losing everything. When you detach, you make space for peace, for clarity, and for alignment. You stop chasing outcomes and start aligning with what's meant for you. Because what's truly meant for you will never require you to lose yourself trying to keep it. When you master detachment, you don't become careless. You become free. Healing isn't a single event. It's not something that happens because you decided one day to move on. Healing is a process, slow, messy, and deeply uncomfortable at times. Most people think healing means forgetting what hurt them or pretending the pain never existed, but that's not healing. Real healing means facing the pain head on, sitting with it, understanding it, and learning from it. It's about turning your wounds into wisdom, not walls. The truth is, what hurt you can't be erased, but it can be transformed. You can use it to build strength, compassion, and resilience. When you go through something painful, a betrayal, a failure, a loss, your mind naturally wants to protect you. It wants to build walls, to numb you, to convince you that if you just keep moving, you'll forget. But what you don't process stays inside you. It hides in your patterns, your fears, and your reactions. That's why healing requires slowing down and allowing yourself to feel what you've been running from. It's not weakness to cry, to grieve, or to feel broken. It's strength to confront what's been buried and give it space to breathe. You can't move forward carrying a heart full of unresolved pain. It will always pull you back to the same lessons until you face them. The healing journey also demands forgiveness. Not necessarily for others, but for yourself. You have to forgive yourself for not knowing better, for staying too long, for giving too much, or for letting fear guide your choices. Self-forgiveness is one of the hardest forms of healing because it requires honesty without judgment. You must look at your past self with compassion and say, I did the best I could with what I knew. That's where true growth begins. Every time you choose to forgive, you release a little bit of the weight that's been holding you down. You make space for peace to enter where pain once lived. Healing also means letting go of the idea that closure will come from someone else. Most people wait for an apology, an explanation, or validation that never arrives. The hard truth is that closure comes from you. It comes from deciding that the past no longer has power over your present. It comes from choosing peace over revenge, acceptance over resentment, and growth over bitterness. You don't heal by changing the past. You heal by changing your relationship to it. When you reach the point where your past no longer defines your identity, you've found true healing. It's important to remember that healing doesn't mean you'll never feel pain again. It means pain no longer controls you. It means you can think about what happened without falling apart. It means you can talk about it with strength instead of shame. It means you can smile again. Not because everything is perfect, but because you've made peace with imperfection. Healing is not about becoming who you were before the pain, it's about becoming someone wiser, softer, and stronger because of it. And every step, even the painful ones, is progress. Growth doesn't happen when life is comfortable. It happens when you face challenges that stretch you beyond your limits, when you push through discomfort instead of running from it. Most people want growth, but they don't want the pain that comes with it. They want strength without struggle, confidence without failure, and wisdom without mistakes. But that's not how life works. The truth is, every moment of discomfort, every setback, every rejection is an invitation to evolve. You grow when you stop avoiding the hard things and start leaning into them with courage. The moments that feel unbearable are the ones shaping you into someone unshakable. When you start to embrace discomfort, you stop seeing it as punishment, start seeing it as preparation. Life isn't testing you to break you, it's testing you to build you. Think about every challenge you've faced. At the time, it might have felt unfair or overwhelming, but looking back, you realize it made you stronger, more self-aware, more resilient. That's what growth is. It's the invisible transformation that happens in the middle of chaos. The pain you feel today is often the foundation of your future strength. So instead of resisting it, thank it. Thank the discomfort for teaching you discipline, the rejection for showing you your worth, and the failure for pushing you to become better. It's easy to stay in your comfort zone because it feels safe, but safe doesn't equal fulfilled. Comfort zones are cozy traps. They keep you stagnant, stuck in routines that feel easy but offer nothing new. Real progress demands that you take risks, that you step into the unknown even when your voice shakes. Every time you do something that scares you, you expand your potential. Growth lives on the other side of fear. And the beautiful thing is, once you step through that fear once, it loses its power over you. You realize that you were never really afraid of failing. You were afraid of discovering how capable you truly are. Growth also means becoming comfortable with being misunderstood. When you start changing, not everyone will understand your journey. Some people will doubt you, mock you, or try to pull you back to your old ways because your growth reminds them of what they're avoiding. But that's part of it. Growth requires you to outgrow not just habits, but sometimes people too. It's not arrogance to protect your peace, it's self-respect. You owe it to yourself to evolve even if it makes others uncomfortable. Your journey is your own, and it doesn't need validation from anyone. Ultimately, embracing discomfort is how you build emotional and mental toughness. When you stop looking for the easy way and start choosing the meaningful way, you stop being controlled by fear, doubt, or uncertainty. You start trusting yourself even when the path ahead isn't clear. Growth is painful, yes, but so is staying the same. The difference is, one pain moves you forward and the other keeps you trapped. So choose the pain that transforms you. Choose the discomfort that strengthens you. Because the version of you that's waiting on the other side of growth is stronger, calmer, and far more powerful than the one who's afraid to begin. Every single thing you've been through, the heartbreaks, the failures, the sleepless nights, the doubts, the moments when you wanted to give up, they've all been shaping you into who you're meant to become. You may not see it now, but every setback was a setup for strength. Every loss carved out space inside you for something greater to grow. And the truth is, your power was never gone. It was buried under fear, under distraction, under self-doubt, but it's still there, waiting for you to rise, waiting for you to claim it. So stop waiting for the world to change before you do. Stop waiting for the perfect moment, the right timing, or someone's approval. The life you want won't appear out of nowhere. You have to build it with consistency, courage, and discipline. You have to make the decision that from this moment on, you are no longer a prisoner to your past, your excuses, or your comfort zone. You're going to stand up, take responsibility, and take back your peace, your focus, and your power. The world doesn't need another person who's just getting by. It needs people who are awake, intentional, and unstoppable, people who know their worth and refuse to settle for less than they're capable of. And that person can be you. In fact, it already is you. You just need to strip away the noise, the distractions, and the negativity that's been dimming your light. You're capable of more than you realize, but you'll never find out until you take that first step. The step toward becoming the version of yourself your future self is begging you to be. So take a deep breath. Let go of the past. Step forward with purpose. The road ahead won't be easy, but it will be worth it. Every day you choose growth over comfort, you're rewriting your story. Every time you say no to doubt and yes to effort, you're building a life that reflects your strength. And remember this, your peace is power. Your focus is freedom, and your growth is your responsibility. Protect it fiercely, pursue it relentlessly, and live it fully. Because when you commit to your own growth, nothing and no one can take your power away again. Thank you for being here, for showing up for yourself, for choosing to listen and not just hear, but feel the truth behind these words. Keep going, keep growing, and keep believing, because the best version of you is already on the way. This is your moment. Take it. Live in it. Thank you. And remember, your future self is watching, waiting, and cheering you on.